This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the Rewe Beste Wahl peanut cookie vegan vanilla ice cream on an almond base with cookie pieces and peanut swirls. This is vegan, as we determined previously. We've got some cocoa certificate right here. Let's take a look at the ingredients list really quickly. Here we go. Zoom in and pause if you want to read that. The address to where to send your angry letters to. Let's take a look at the nutrition table right here and a bit of the storing suggestion right there. 400 grams in 500 milliliters. Oh, I want to get one thing out of the way. You can see my finger right here. This is not some sort of fungus infection or anything. I made a video about a boil test with an alcohol stove and I touched the cross stand too quickly. I've not fallen victim to bacteria. I've fallen victim to something a lot worse than that. My own incompetence, which is the most unfortunate thing a man can fall to. Anyway, let's see right here. I think we've got a little bit of a aluminium foil on top, and that is of course a correct assumption. Where are we going to cut this? Let's see, cut it right here so that we've got the ingredients list intact. I bought this for €3.99 at a local Rewe, and this is the second vegan ice cream I bought from them. Many people said that this is actually quite good. So did my sister actually when she spotted this in the freezer. So I'm excited for this. Which one are we going to take? We take the one with the ingredients list on the back. The other one is going back into the freezer, and I'll be back with you in just a second. I am back at the desk and I'm ready to take a closer look at this. So right off the bat, it looks okay. On the top it looks nice, and the center of it, the cross section, okay as well, although we can see that there are some spots, larger spots, where nothing is really in there. I assumed that the cookie pieces would be a bit more, evenly distributed, more than this at least. But so far, so good. Nothing looks awful. Everything looks alright at this point in time. Let's take a bit of a scrapey of the almond ice cream base, that vegan vanilla ice cream on almond base, I should say. Looks okay. It doesn't feel as watery as I expected it to. A bit of a what feels like a crystalline structure, but much more creamy than many of the other vegan ice creams. Let's see how it tastes. Taste-wise, it is actually quite alright, I have to say. Compared to actual ice cream, it is of course a lot more watery. There is no way around that. But the sweetness of that almond base ice cream, it's alright. It's alright. I do not really like that wateriness of those vegan ice creams in general, but this one right here, so far, so good. Let's go for another one. Yes, overall it seems to be okay. Let's take a look at one of these cookie pieces right here. Let's try to get most of the ice cream off of there. I am semi-successful with that attempt, but this one is going in anyway. The cookie piece seems alright as well. It doesn't taste though like the cookie pieces I usually have in these ice creams. It's a bit different. It lacks a very strong cocoa flavor. It's got a bit more of a more richer aftertaste, but the initial impression of that when you bite on it, it is not really as I expected. Not as strong when it comes to the flavor. I'll try to dig out another one of these pieces and see if the initial assumption, second try. Yes, it really has got that structure of a cookie mix in, but by itself it doesn't really taste all that cocoa-y. Certainly not as much as many of the other cookie dough mix-ins, or cookie mix-ins I should say, that you get in ice cream usually. Now these seem to be peanut pieces. Let's try to get some of these pieces out of there, take a closer look at it, see how they are. I expect them to be very much like peanut pieces. Yes, those are very much like regular peanut pieces. I do enjoy peanut pieces in almost everything. I love that texture, that very, very recognizable smell and taste in your mouth. Lovely. I love them in Snickers bars, I love them pretty much everywhere. Now let's try to... I want to try and get one of these supposedly peanut butter swirls, but they seem to be so, so delicate that it appears to be very difficult to get a hold of them without any of the base ice cream. Next to impossible almost. Let's see if I can taste it in here. Yeah, there is certainly a bit of a peanut flavour, but I do not know if that wasn't another peanut piece. I think we've got all the individual components of this ice cream that make up this particular theme tried at this point. Of course, we've got a bit of a darker piece down here where a lot of those crumbly cookie pieces discolored the base ice cream a little bit. I might actually take a closer look at that right now. Let's see if this tastes any different than the rest. Yes, it does remind me a bit more of that Oreo ice cream, but that vegan almond base, makes it not so much like it. I think we've tried now everything that we can actually see and distinguish from here, so I'm going to finish off this half of the ice cream and I'll give you my verdict in just a second. The consumption process is now complete, and I think I've made my mind up when it comes to this particular product. The first impression was decent. We have 400 grams and 500 milliliters. It wasn't too light either, which is good. Color-wise, everything looked natural, or natural enough. Like the ice cream was yellowy-ish. They had that slight bit of watery, crystally texture to it, but that wasn't too bad. And we've got that brownish, caramel-like color of the peanut butter as swirled in the ice cream, and the peanut pieces in there as well that weren't discolored or anything. Same goes for the cookies, they looked alright as well. Overall, very decent first impression. Consistency and texture wise, this ice cream wasn't bad either. Like I said, the ice cream base was of course not as creamy as actual ice cream is, but overall it has been fine, certainly among the better vegan ice cream, that is for sure. The cookie pieces were fine as well. Same for the peanut pieces. Those usually hold up quite well in these ice creams, vegan or not. Sadly, when it comes to the actual consistency of the peanut swirls, peanut swirls they're called. I can't really say too much about that because consistency-wise, they didn't really leave an impression at all. They were just like these very thin, very, basically seemingly more for the looks than for the taste kind of things, and they didn't really provide a change in consistency compared to the ice cream base around them when I was scraping through them. Taste-wise, this particular product certainly has impressed me more than I expected. The ice cream itself was alright. I didn't really taste too much when it comes to the ice cream base, at least, of that vanilla. This was pretty much almond vegan ice cream, substitution, not much else. At least I didn't taste too much else, if I'm honest, when it comes to the base ice cream, and that's completely fine in my book, I've got to say. That almond flavor or oat flavor, depending on what kind of base they've got, usually is so dominant in that particular flavor profile that something like a subtle vanilla flavor really has a hard time battling against that, which is a bit unfortunate. And I would really like at some point in time have to have like a one-to-one comparison between just almond ice cream base and vanilla almond ice cream base. I do not think there is too much of a difference, to be honest. Especially nowadays where everything really has got vanilla in it when it comes to like bases of stuff, like bases of puddings, ice cream, almost everything in the dessert department. Apart from the ice cream base, the cookies themselves, I said it like previously in this video that they didn't really resemble like the regular cookie pieces that I get in ice cream usually. I think it might have been like a cost-cutting measure with this one, because the cookies in particular, those were, when it comes to the overall theme of this thing, the thing that was lacking the most. They had some sort of cocoa cookie aftertaste to them, but that initial tasting of that initial flavor impact on your tongue, on your taste buds, that certainly wasn't where I expected it to be. So overall, that's a bit unfortunate. Taste-wise, with the peanut parts, the peanut pieces on the other side, they are just like regular peanut pieces in almost everything. Always lovely, always nice, usually good tasting, and a bit difficult to screw up, to be honest. The peanut swirls, on the other hand, I do not know if what I tasted were actually these peanut swirls, because it always felt like there was some kind of nuttiness in my mouth, some kind of grinding going on, and that might have just been another peanut piece that was supplying the flavor. I'm not entirely sure, because that one or two spoonfuls that I've had with those peanut swirls in there, and those are ones that really didn't taste too much of peanuts, which leads me to believe that the peanut swirls aren't as effective as I expected them to be. And yeah, they were quite thin, quite small, just there for color, I think, for the most part. Theme realization-wise, I certainly think that they have achieved what they set out to achieve. Peanut cookie ice cream, almond base, it says it's an almond base, and unlike Ben & Jerry's, this one actually tastes like one. Yeah, I had some bad experiences with Ben & Jerry almond bases before. The cookie pieces were the only thing that was really letting it down, and the peanut swirls, to be honest with you, there were so many of these peanut pieces in there. It doesn't really matter if the peanut swirl tastes of anything, because you get the peanut taste in almost every bite anyway, so not a big issue. On a scale from 1 to 10, this item therefore gets a 7.5, which is a pretty decent rating for one of these vegan ice creams. If you've got a question or a video suggestion, leave it in the comment section down below. And if you want to see more videos just like this one, please subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope I'm going to see you soon. Until then, bye bye.